As you can imagine, a single race puts unbelievable stress on both Top Fuel driver and car. To ensure the highest level of performance and safety, Top Fuel mechanics completely tear apart and rebuild their car after each run in about 30 minutes.
When we come back from a run, it's organized chaos. You'll have to tear the motor completely apart, put it back together. 33 minutes, it'll be ready to fire up again.
As soon as the car is wheeled in, it's go time. When it comes to rebuilding an engine, these guys are the Top Fuel dragsters of the mechanic world. To a layman, the crew's frantic pace may seem chaotic, but in truth, it's a well-choreographed dance, practiced over and over with incredible precision.
Everybody has a certain job when they're pulling the heads or pulling the blower. You'll watch us, everybody knows where they're supposed to be.
So everybody knows exactly what to do without saying anything to each other. Everything has to be perfect every time.
It's a process of continual building and rebuilding that large sponsored teams like Don Schumacher Racing can afford.
For the team owner, like Don Schumacher, it starts with putting the deals together that bring the sponsorship to give us the resources to do what we do.
We just have everything at our fingertips to be able to go out and have, you know, a car that'll actually go out and chase competition for the championship.
In less than a minute, the protective covers, oil overflow tank, plugs and fuel lines are removed. A minute later, the push rods, cylinder heads, exhaust manifolds, clutch bell housing, and supercharger are off. The supercharger is pulled aside for service as oil is drained from the crankcase. Just 3 minutes in, the clutch flywheel is unbolted, while the blower mechanic checks the supercharger. Amazingly, in about 4 minutes, the final piston comes out and the engine is stripped down to nearly a bare block. Two custom-built big rig trailers are each actually a combination of auto parts warehouse, machine shop, and full-function garage in one tidy unit that supplies the team with all they need to complete any rebuild or repair. Nicknamed the tech trailer and the race trailer, nearly all work on dragster parts happens on board, even when the team is back at home base.
Our first stop here is Shane's area, which is basically our rod and piston area. This is where he assembles all of our rods and pistons and racks to go in the engines. There's also some of our motor storage.
The tech trailer houses stations for cylinder head assemblies, ignition systems, superchargers, and short blocks.
Basically, piston and rod storage, real quick. Try to keep some of that stuff secret.
Inside the race trailer, mechanics service rods, pistons, and the all-important clutch.
Back here, this is kind of the main clutch area. I can't show you a whole lot of what's in these two cabinets, but as you can see, Davey here, he's putting together a reverser that had about it had 15 laps on it. So we go through, we service it, check all the gears inside of it, make sure that we don't see anything that's worn or that would look like it could cause a potential problem going down the track.
Up front, the team keeps computers used to interpret the car's race data.
They are using these to download the runs, look at all the computer information, and basically determine what we need to do to be the fastest car down the track the next lap.
At the track or in the shop, for the mechanics, this is home.
You kind of got to be prepared with anything, so sweatshirts, jackets, spare shoes, gas mask, and a couple little pictures here and there.
Between events, the Fram team works non-stop, preparing everything they'll need for each of their 35-minute fire drills. Cleaning, refinishing, and building sub-assemblies for most of the critical dragster components happens well in advance of race day. Cylinder heads are fitted with valves, spark plugs, and rocker arms, ready and stored, in quantities that would make any self-supporting motorhead green with envy.
You need to keep a pretty large inventory of everything on hand at all times.
In the tech trailer, mechanic Michael Lance prepares a damaged engine block for repair. Controlled explosions are what power all internal combustion engines, but with the volatility of nitro, in Top Fuel drag racing, sometimes those explosions are a little more powerful than you'd like.
This is our block from the Friday night qualifying session in Indy. It knocked one of the rods out, picked out the side of the block. It's called the window. I just basically have to get it all apart, get it cleaned up, and get it to the guy that repairs them and see what he can do with it. He can do a lot of crazy things. He'll cut all this out, just straighten everything up, redo the main line. Not exactly perfect like brand new, but good enough for us to run.
Nitro is pretty volatile, so parts let go. Sometimes it's tune-up related. It could be a number of things. Nitro methane.
Before the next event, David and Michael will prep 9 fully loaded engine blocks so the team is ready for any race day situation.
I mean, they get beat up pretty bad. The valves will break, the intake valves. When the piston hits them, they'll break off sometimes, and they'll just beat up. I mean, it's just, how do you describe it? It's just chaos in here, because that thing's bouncing up and down with the piston. It just chews everything up.
The purpose of preparing these engines is all about speed. In the 35-minute prep time between races, there isn't enough time to fix a busted block. To help the team move even faster, the NHRA only requires 2 hard mounts for the engine. The rest of the block is held down by, get this, hose clamps.